Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Hope everybody's doing awesome. And Tuesday, so we're going to check out some Tao. Tuesday Tao. Change your thoughts, change your life. We're going to continue on in this series, Living the Wisdom of the Tao by Dr. Wayne Dyer. Be sure to get yourself a copy of this book because it's one that you want on your bookshelf. This isn't my bookshelf, by the way. It's on the other side. I should move it over here. That might be a nice thing to do. But let's just get right into this, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't even have any idea what it's going to be. It looks like it is Living from the Void. Living from the Void, the 11th verse of the Tao Te Ching. And then commentary by Wayne Dyer, and then layered on top of that, commentary by myself. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Previous verse we looked at was living oneness, I believe. Now, it's been a while. I kind of jump around between Wisdom of the Ages, this book, gonna start doing Zen Athlete, and just insightful, thought-provoking, life-changing wisdom. All right, let's go right into it. The 11th verse of the Tao Te Ching. 30 spokes converge upon a single hub. It is on the whole, in the center, that the use of the cart hinges. Shape clay into a vessel. It is the space within that makes it useful. Carve fine doors and windows, but the room is useful in its emptiness. The usefulness of what is depends on what is not. The first thing my mind is thinking there during that is it's not the bars that hold the tiger, but it's the space between. It's not the cage that holds the tiger, but it's the space between the bars. If that makes sense. It's a way to look at the black behind the stars, which is a very important principle in, I believe, Egyptian mythology. Living from the void, Wayne Dyer begins here by saying, in this thought-provoking 11th verse of the Tao Te Ching, Lao-tzu cites the value of an emptiness that often goes unnoticed. See, that's a key point there. The value of he says emptiness, and that's what we're talking about, but the thing that we don't choose to notice, like the air, or the value of the space between, all right, let's keep going, that often goes unnoticed. He explains this idea with the images of the hole in the center of a hub, the space within a clay vessel, and the interior area of a room, concluding that the usefulness of what is depends on what is not. In other words, separated parts lack the usefulness that the center contributes. This passage invites us to live from the invisible void that's at the core of our being, that is, to change how we think about it. Consider the paradoxical term non-being as you ponder your own beingness. You're comprised of bones, organs, and rivers of fluids that are encapsulated by a huge sheet of skin molded to hold you together. There's definitely a distinctive quality of beingness that is you in this arrangement of bodily parts, yet if it were possible to disassemble you and lay all of your still functioning physical components on a blanket, there would be no you. Or would there? All that. Thinking spiritually. Because if you're not your body, and you like the same you that you were when you're 5 years old, is this, although you may have grown, but you're still you inside. Like you're the witness going along through the entire adventure as you watch all the changes happen. And this is also something that Wayne Dyer talks about in his speeches and stuff. Stuff and things. Yet if it were possible, like you say, to disassemble you, there would be no you, although all of the parts would be there. Their usefulness depends on a non-beingness, or in Lao-tzu's words, what is not. So the usefulness of the parts just depends on the thing that often goes unnoticed. Imagine lining up the walls of the room you're presently in with all of the elements present. Without the space of the center, it's no longer a room. Even though everything else is the same, a clay pot is not a pot without the emptiness that the clay encapsulates. A house is not a house if there's no inner space for the exterior to enclose. And you might be thinking, well, yeah, but what's the significance of that? I think the significance is becoming aware of that which often goes unnoticed. Let's see what Wayne continues to say here. A composer once told me that the silence, this is a beautiful one here, folks. The silence from which each note emerges is more important than the note itself. He said that it's the empty space between the notes that literally allows the music to be music. If there's no void, there's only continuous sound. That's a powerful one. The music comes from the space between the notes. Like think about a drum and percussion. If it's just constantly a sound ringing, whether it's a bass or a cymbal or a snare, just ringing out, there would be no music. Especially if you got multiple layers of that going on, it would just be a cacophony of disharmony, if that's a proper use of words there. But I think, and that's interesting thinking about vibrations and frequency. In order to create harmony, there must be like if you think about waves, the up and the down, and how there's a balance of like a peak or an action and a non-action, the space between the notes is what makes the music. I love that. I don't know if it's an analogy, it's definitely not a metaphor, but anyways, it's just a thought, a powerful thought. It's the empty space between the notes that literally allows the music. If there's no void, there's only just a continuous sound. Ask yourself, what makes a tree? And what makes a tree a tree? The bark? The branches, the roots, the leaves? All of these things are what is. And all of them do not constitute a tree. What's needed to have a tree is what is not. An imperceptible, invisible life force that eludes your five senses. You can cut and carve and search the cells of a tree endlessly, and you'll never capture it. In the first line of this verse, that hole in the center that's necessary for the movement of the wheel can be likened to the void that's vital for you to move through in your life. If you have an inner state of non-being at your center, right, you have an inner state of non-being at your center. So take note of what is visible, your body, as well as the invisible essence that your existence depends on, the Tao part of you. The following is what I hear Lao-tzu saying to you regarding this concept of living in the void in today's world, is what Wayne Dyer says. Your imperceptible center is your vital essence. I'm going to put my thumb there and extrapolate my own thoughts. Your imperceptible center is your vital essence. And this makes me think of Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind, which is a fascinating, I haven't read it, just listened to the audiobook multiple times, but it's like the art of just doing, and the quality that there is in that is greater than when if you would be doing in order to achieve something else. So you're not doing to just do the task, you're not being in it. Like say if you're swimming and you're swimming to martial arts is another way. If you're trying and constantly, I've heard martial artists use this metaphor. It might have been Matt Belair on his podcast. You're constantly trying to push yourself to get to the next rank and the next level, and you end up injuring yourself. And then it's almost like when you are able to be in it when you're doing it, and you're not pushing and striving for some result that's not it. So once again, when you're in it totally, when you're in the moment and doing it, the quality of that and your progression will be far greater than the quality of you doing it to do something else. That's what that made me think of when he said here, your imperceptible center is your vital essence. So in order to create the most vital or the greatest quality of our essence, of ourselves in life, we have to be able to connect to this thing that so often goes unnoticed. The Tao part of us, the imperceptible center that he says there. I mean, you can call it a million things, and that probably goes back to something we've said before, is to actually try to describe it is not a waste of time, but there isn't descriptions really for these things. They're beyond description, but man, do we love trying to describe it. I do, especially. Take the time to shift your attention to the so-called nothingness that is your essence. What does it beckon you toward? The space emanates from the invisibleness that's responsible for all of creation. And the thoughts that emerge from your inner self are pure love and kindness. Now you might be thinking there, yeah, right, the thoughts that emerge in my mind are the opposite of those things. And that's not your inner self. That's programming that we have gone through by accident, or maybe by unconscious process. Anyways, the way of the Tao is to allow rather than to try. See, I was just talking about being in it. Like the swimmer, I think, again, you're just being, not being, but you like are swimming. Like, yeah, I'm swimming right now so I can achieve another result, and so I can get the medal or, get the belt or whatever it is. Allow rather than try. Thus, allow that essential center of pure love to activate your unique usefulness. See? This is another way, this is other words to describe what's described in Zen mind, beginner's mind, and what I was just trying to describe a minute ago. Allow that essential center of pure love and like just beingness in the moment is key. Like, think being unattached from outcomes is like it's the simplest few words, but it's the most profound thing that it take a lifetime of figuring out. Allow that essential center of pure love to activate your unique usefulness, that quality that I was talking about. Allow it and let go. Just like you're breathing. Like, all right, I got to get another breath here. Don't want to let it go. Like, because then you pass out before long. You may not survive if you continue to do that all the time. All right, let's skip here to, he says, practice the power of silence every day. There are many individual ways of doing this. For example, meditation is a wonderful tool to help you feel the bliss that accompanies your connection to your inner void, the place where you experience the way of the Tao. He says, vow to be more aware of the placeless place within you. And all that, this really helps like when I wake up in the middle of the night or something, or when I'm trying to fall asleep, like you go into this mind place where you don't allow it to be so random like thoughts can normally be. Like you become the controller of what you think about. Or if it's not negative, then you kind of let it flow and watch it. And you get into this place, this placeless place within us. He says, find your way to enter the space within you that is clean, pure, and in harmony with love. And I would say on a daily basis, we need to catch those thoughts like whack-a-mole that are coming up that are not clean, pure, in harmony with love, peace, all these greater, higher levels of consciousness. We might have to take another look at that again. David Hawkins' Scale of Consciousness. Powerful books. All right, let's finish up here, folks. Do the Tao now. Wayne Dyer recommends all of us to spend at least 15 minutes today living in the void that is you. Ignore your body and your surroundings. Be safe about this. Let go of your material identifications, such as your name, age, ethnicity, job title, so on, and just be in that space between. Almost just like zone out. That void, which is absolutely crucial to your very existence. Look out at your world from what is not, and appreciate that your very usefulness as a material being is completely dependent on this void. Work today on befriending this, what is not part of you. And the what is not was in quotations there. Work today on befriending this placeless place within each one of us. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the 11th verse in Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life, with my commentary for purposes of education and entertainment. Sorry about the light functioning. I just use the natural light coming in from outside. But one day, ladies and gentlemen, one day. So next time we come to the Tao, and I'm hoping to do this on Tuesdays. I always try to set a schedule and stuff for myself, and maybe this time, since I'm practicing the art of showing up and you guys will hold me accountable out there, I'll be back next Tuesday with more Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life, looking at the Tao and trying to live the wisdom of the Tao, and with Dr. Wayne Dyer. Next week's the 12th verse, living with inner conviction. Powerful title. Powerful title. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you got value, consider subscribing. Smash the like button. Leave a comment. Please let me know what you think about this. If it's given you any inspiration or help or peace or maybe a new way to think about life. And be sure to check the description. It expands right next to the title. And I'll have this linked down there if you'd like to get a copy for yourself. Make a few shillings by me leaving the link. It's an affiliate link to Amazon. And I hope to also, support whoever's still making money from Wayne Dyer's incredible books and everything that he's done to have an incredible impact on the world, especially my life. Huge impact. And that's why I'm sharing it with you, ladies and gentlemen. Well, seek to make happiness the way and maintain it. through discovering the hidden wisdom of the ages and through becoming more conscious of the way that we're going. Find more clarity of direction and action. And until next time, love you, and I'll see you in the future.